Привіт. I'm Chuck Linik. I'm a Ukrainian-American who was baptized with the name Yaroslav, and that's the name that I use in the historical reenactment group, the Society for Creative Anachronism. For years, I'd been researching Slavic lore because I was exposed to a lot of Slavic culture growing up, and I ended up with a stack of notebooks about yay high and realized that, hey, one way to start making an excuse to go into the notebooks and accessing the material was to do videos on Slavic mythology and folklore and Rus history and that sort of thing, and that this might be a starting point for people in the society who might want to research the topic. And I would post the videos up on my YouTube channel, which would be really nice if you subscribe to, by the way. So this is kind of an odd tale. There's references to a bogatyr, one of the heroes of Slavic lore, named Nikita Zaleshanin. But there's not a lot of references to him. Some say that he ranked next to Ilya of Merom or Ilya Muromets, second of the 7 greatest bogatyri. The lists change. And there are actually other stories that say, no, this is another story that involves Ilya in disguise, because he apparently liked to show up in disguise a lot in Royal Kiev town, and then he wouldn't be recognized by Prince Volodymyr Bright Sun, and this would make him really angry. And so this is another one of those tales. So who would tell us of the days of old, and of the things of old, of the things of old and of the things that have been, of that Ilya, of Ilya of Merom, of Ilya Muromets, the son of Ivan, of that Ilya some called Ilya Chobotok, Ilya the Boot, of Ilya and Nikita Zaleshanin. On a day, as Ilya rode in the open steppes, he communed thus with himself. Lo, I have been in many lands, but 'tis long since I have been in Royal Kiev town. I will ride thither and learn what is doing there. When he came to the palace in Royal Kiev town, Prince Volodymyr was holding a merry feast. Ilya entered straight into the banquet hall, crossed himself as prescribed, and did reverence as enjoined, bowing on all 4 sides, and to fair son Prince Volodymyr and the Princess Apraxia in particular. But Volodymyr knew him not. What is thy name and tribe, and what is thy patronymic? And Ilya made answer, Bright Volodymyr, fair little son, I am called Nikita from beyond the forest. Oh there, my brave and free little fellow, sit down with us now to eat bread and to feast. Yet there is yet a little place yonder at the lower end of the table. The other places are filled for princes and nobles and rich merchants and bold warrior maids. Hold feast with me today, the great of the heroes of Rus. The old Kazakh liked not this speech, that he should break bread at the lower end of the table, and he said this word, And ho, thou fair son, Prince Volodymyr, thou eatest, feasteth with crows thyself, and seatest me with the little crows? Nay, I will not eat bread with nursling crows. This speech, in turn, pleased not the fair son prince. He sprang to his nimble feet, clouding over like the dusky night, and roared as he had been a wild beast. Ho there, ye mighty Rus heroes! Will ye hear yourselves called crows? Nay, little crows. Seize this fellow, heroes, 3 to each arm, lead him into the spacious court, and there strike off his turbulent head. Ilya but shrugged off the 6 heroes, 3 from each arm, and they lay stunned. Then Prince Volodymyr commanded that 12 should seize him, and with them it fared the same. And thus 18 seized him, and he still shrugged them off. But now Ilya's heroic heart burned within him. Ilya fitted an arrow to his stout bow. Fly, my shaft, about the princely windows he conjured it. Bear off all the golden spires and the wonder-working crosses on God's temples. Then he gathered up all the spires and crosses, went to the royal pothouse, sold the precious spires for countless treasure, and began to drink up the imperial roofs in green wine. He assembled also all the hangers-on of the pothouse, sots and all who could drink green wine and the beer of drunkenness and sweet mead, and led them into the kabak and bade them to help him drink the princely spires. What will the prince do, mighty Ilya, when he knoweth that we are drinking his royal spires? Asked his boon companions. Drink, care ye not for that. Tomorrow I shall reign as prince in Kiev town, and ye shall be my chieftains. Fair Volodymyr Bright Sun of royal Kiev perceived that a great misfortune was at hand, and knew not who it might be that had come to his town. But young Dobrina Nikitich spoke up. This is no Nikita from beyond the forest. It is Ilya of Murom. Thou hast not known, Volodymyr, how to welcome thy guest on thy coming, nor honor him at his going. Whom shall we send to bid him to an honorable feast? Said Volodymyr in amaze. Bold Alyosha Popovich will not know how to bid him, and Churila Plenkovich is good for nothing but to strut among the women and maids. We must send a clever man who can read and write, one whose discourse is reasonable. Go thou, therefore, Dobrina Nikitich, beat thy forehead against the brick floor, against damp Mother Earth, before him, and say, Prince Volodymyr hath sent me to thee, thou old Cossack, Ilya of Murom, to bid thee to a worshipful feast. He knew thee not, good youth, and for that cause alone did he place thee at the lower end of the board to eat his bread. But now he entreateth thee to him with heartiness and great joy, and commands thee not to bear ill will for what is past. For thy place, which was the worst of all, shall now be the best, to wit, in the great corner. Then Dobrina thought within himself, shall I not go to sudden death at Ilya's hands? But if I obey not fair son Prince Volodymyr, it will fare ill for me. So he betook himself to the imperial pothouse, where Ilya of Murom, the mighty bogatyr, sat drinking and carousing with the brawlers. It is better I should approach him from behind, thought Dobrina, and so he did, and seized Ilya by his mighty shoulders and delivered his message. It was wise, quoth the old Kazakh, Dobrina Nikitich, that thou camest at me from behind. Hadst thou approached me from the front, you would be but ashes. Now go and say these words to thy fair prince, the fair son. Let strict ukases be sent throughout all the towns of Kiev and Chernihiv, that all the pothouses and drinking places of whatever sort be opened freely for the space of 3 days, that all the people may drink the green wine without price, and who does not choose to drink the green wine, let him drink the beer of drunkenness or the sweet mead. And let it be proclaimed that it is Ilya of Murom who has come to royal Kiev town. Then with speed ran Dobrynya to Prince Volodymyr, and quickly, very, very quickly, were the stern ukazes issued, and a mighty banquet prepared, and vast multitudes assembled in the pothouses, not to eat or drink, but to view the old Cossack. When Ilya came to the princely palace, he did reverence to all, and to the prince and princess in particular. Then Volodymyr rose to his nimble feet and spoke, "Ho there, thou old Cossack Ilya of Murom! Here is a place for thee beside me, either on my right hand or my left, and yet a third place, wherever it pleaseth thee to sit." Therewith he took Ilya by his hands and embraced him. And as they sat on the 4 square stools about the oaken tables laden with sweet viands, Ilya took not the highest place, but a lesser, and put the sots from the imperial pothouse about him, and they began to eat and drink and make merry. It was at the feast I heard this tale, there it was I drank mead ale. Though it flowed down my beard, my mouth stayed dry, for never a drop passed my lips, swear I.